This episode of Android Authority is brought to you by the LG G3. So we've been taking a pretty extensive look at the LG G3 as of late, and as you can see here, it is on my table. We already have extensive videos on the camera, the front-facing camera, and even the knock code capability of this phone, but I wanted to just go ahead and bring you a look at 10 tips and tricks that you can do with your LG G3 when you get it, whether it's on any of the carriers here in the United States or beyond. So here we go, we're just going to jump right into the list. Now, if you're not going to be using the knock code feature, which allows you to create a knock code, a code of taps onto the screen, even when it is in the standby position to unlock and wake the device, you can at least use the knock on. Now, I have set it up right now so that I have a swipe, a classic swipe unlock, but if I wanted to just wake the phone, I would double tap on the screen and there it is. We have the simple swipe to unlock right there, but if I wanted to also turn off, or rather put the phone in standby, turn off the screen, I could double tap on any blank area of my actual home screen and it will also turn off the phone. It's a very easy way of turning on and off your device. After that, we're going to take a look at some shortcut buttons. These are really great ways of waking the phone to two specific functions. The first one that I'll show you is using the volume up button, and then after that is the volume down button. Now, the volume up button brings you straight to a quick memo capability that will allow you to very quickly create a note. So if anything happens in your daily life that you really want to be able to record, you can go ahead and just create that right here. But the one that I know a lot of you are probably going to be using a lot is holding the volume down button. If you hold the volume down button, you will go straight to the camera, which is an easy way of getting to your camera. You can see me right there. Hello. And you can easily just get a shot off very quickly in no time at all. All right, and then after that, we'll just go ahead and jump into the next one. Now, we do have navigation bar buttons on the bottom. These are soft keys for the operating system in the LG G3, but those can be customized, and especially with a larger screen like this, there's one particular function that I love when it comes to these home touch buttons that are available on the bottom. But the button combination is where you want to change things. For example, you have four options right here: notifications, quick memo, Q slide, and dual window. The notifications one is the one that I like, that you can add to the bottom bar, which will allow you to not have to swipe all the way down from the top, which usually takes some hand gymnastics, but instead just hit the button right there to be able to look at your notifications. Top, speaking of the notifications, we have all of the quick settings right here. And you'll notice that in the operating system of the LG G3, it has been updated to hide some of the elements that would otherwise take up a lot of room inside of your notification shade. One way that they did that was by opening the Q slide like this, and it will come out for opening Q slide apps. If you had the quick remote, you would also be able to trigger it from there easily. But if you go all the way to the end, you can also edit the list, and it is here that you'll see that I've cleaned up the quick settings panel to not include the brightness and volume sliders, which would then take up even more room there. If you do wish to have more room for your notifications, you can always just turn those off, and that will clean up your quick settings notification panel shade very quickly. Now, as you can see here, my home screens are pretty clean. I do like to keep my home screens very minimalistic when it comes to the icons on the screen, but you'll see here that I have the smart bulletin. Now, these are two areas, these top and bottom, that will show you the LG Health application and also some quick tips in their own way that LG puts in for the phone itself. But you can actually remove that little G on the bottom here, or the smart bulletin page as it is rather called, by heading over to the app drawer and then coming down to the home screen settings. It is in the home screen settings that you can turn off the smart bulletin, and it will allow you to turn off that page and free up some more of that space. Just kind of clean things up a little bit more so you don't actually have that page over there anymore. The other nice thing about the home screens here is the fact that if you want them to be as simplistic as possible, unless you actually need to open applications, is that if you were to pinch out from the screen here in the home screens, it will actually put away all of your icons. I actually think this is a great feature that, you know, just keeps my phone looking as clean as possible until I actually need to open something, in which case I'll just go ahead and pinch back to bring the icons back. And over here, if we select what kind of home we have, we just click Easy Home. Now, for those of you who really want the most simplistic experience possible when it comes to your smartphone, Easy Home is one way of really setting setting that up. Now I'm back home right now, and you can see there I have the weather widget at the top. I have some quick shortcuts in the middle right over here for Gmail, Play Music, and a few of the built-in ones right here, and those allow me to get to some really key functions. If I wanted to dial a number right away, the home screen is already the place to do that. Swipe over to the right and you can add any number of applications here to be easily triggered when you want to open them up. Very easy, very simple to use. In order for you to go back to it, to the original home screen rather, you can head over to the home screen settings. You'll notice that the font is a little bit bigger here already, just to make things even easier. But if I go back to home screen and select home, things go back to normal, as it were. We're here in the general settings area, and you'll see that I'm trying to head over to accessibility right here, and we have touch zoom right here. Touch zoom basically allows you to triple tap on the screen, and you'll notice I already have it on. And if you triple tap on the screen, you'll see that the entire operating system, or interface rather, becomes a zoomable interface. And from here I can zoom in even more. Now this is not typically a place that you would be able to zoom in, and you'll see I'm using 2 fingers to slide around and pinching to zoom and pinching out to zoom out, and it allows you to really be able to just look at anything on the phone that you may or may not be able to see because it's too small, just by using a triple tap. And there you go, we're back to normal. And then if we come out of the accessibility area, just scroll down a little bit and we go to security. Security allows you the ability to set a content lock for anything in the gallery. So if you have embarrassing photos or videos or anything like that that you do want to just keep away from prying eyes, well, that is something you can set up right here. I'm setting up a draw pattern. We'll just do an L right there, right there. You would basically just hold on that item, or if you wanted to close a number of different ones, you can select them. So let's select these 3 right here, and we'll just go ahead and lock them. And once they're locked, what will happen is if I wanted to show the locked files, I would have to put in the locked pattern. Hit L, and there they are. These are the files that are actually locked in the camera. So I can actually see those and have them away from prying eyes if I so choose. And the final tip that I wanted to show you is the guest mode. Now, guest mode is something that you might want to use if, say, your kids get their hands on your smartphone from time to time, or if anybody else does, and you just want them to be able to do very specific things on the phone. We'll go ahead and hit guest mode in the general area just so I can show you where it is. And then if we talk about the guest mode, it's just a way for you to really just show only certain apps that you've selected for anybody else. What we have here is an allowed app area to allow just these number of ones. So let's say I just wanted to have Combo Crew, which is a game. So we'll go ahead and just head back. There you go. We have 3 apps that are allowed. You have a wallpaper and a lock screen type. For the lock screen, you can set it up for any number of things. So if you do a pattern right here, okay, and now what you can do here is, after I set up the pattern for my general lock screen, now we can set up a pattern to use that will go straight into guest mode. So if you were to give someone else the phone, you would just put this code in, and from there you will be able to just get into guest mode. So if you're giving your phone to anybody else, just put in the guest mode pattern, and that's what they're going to get. So if I was going to demonstrate that for you right now, you would just do it like this. Just knock off, knock on. So if I want to just get into my interface, I would just put in the usual lock code, and then I'll get in that way. But if I want to get into the guest mode, here comes the guest mode pattern unlock. And there you go. There are only these particular applications that are available, and that's all that that person will be able to use. While I will get notifications for phones, phone calls, and alarms, these are the only 3 things that I have allowed them to use in terms of the applications. And so there you have it for this look at some quick tips and tricks, 10 in particular, in no particular order rather, for you to be able to do with your LG G3 when you do get it. There are some really useful tips in here. Like I said already, there were a couple that I really did like to use just to keep things as clean as possible. And from there, that is just some of the content that we have for the LG G3. We have even more that is available, so make sure you'll take a look at our channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and to drop us likes on our videos because we love to see those thumbs up. After that, you can head on over to AndroidAuthority.com for even more content, because we are your source for all things Android.